Hi guys! I have the beautiful Bailey here. Isn't she so beautiful? So this is the first time that I am filming live from our showroom because you guys have only seen our studio and this is our showroom. So I'm going to give you a little tour before I do a design on this beautiful girl. So let me take you around. Just a quick little tour. So this is our showroom. Just give you a little bit of a preview of all the cool things that are in here available for sale, and we encourage you to come and try everything out. So today, to do something a little bit different, I just wanted to film from here just so that you guys can see what's going on. December 2nd, 2011, we are going to be doing 12 hours of live classes. Tune in on FabaTV.com and join us because we have the Wolf Brothers and we have Jay Bautista and we have me and we have Marcella, and it's free for you to watch. We're doing a fundraiser to raise money for the Covenant House, which is a teen homeless shelter. So for more information, visit the website. And thank you guys. I hope that everybody is having a great holiday season. So let's get started. Silly Farm, as you know, has tons of different arty and rainbow cakes for the holidays. We have this one, which is holly berry. We just have a ton. So in the spirit of that, I'm going to create this design just to give you guys some ideas, like I was saying. So I'm going to start off by, of course, just spraying my rainbow cake. And then since I already sprayed it, my sponge is also a little bit damp. So I'm just going to rub my sponge directly over the surface of this rainbow cake so that it's loaded just like this. I'm going to have her close her eye right here. So I start off on the corner of the eye and I'm just laying a little bit of a base color down. Just like that. So as you can see, it's going to give her this beautiful color right there. And Ella the Consul, you never know what's going to happen at Silly Farm. She came to come shopping or say hi to everybody. She looks awesome. So I'm just in the middle of doing a tutorial on Bailey here. Isn't she so beautiful?
Bailey, you're so beautiful.
Thank you. She has manners. That's
Hi, Heather.
All right.
I love you guys here at Silly Farm.
That's right, and we love you too. So the next thing I'm doing is I'm just filling up this, my brush. This is a filbert brush, and I'm filling it up with gold just so I can fill it in the corner of her eyes, because this particular rainbow cake has green and red on it, two strong colors at the beginning and the end. So I'm just going to start it off by making sure she has a little bit of a softer beginning to it. Here, and I'm going to fill it in so that the first color you see is this gold, and that's going to give it a little bit more of a softer effect right there. At this point, what I'm going to do is create the rest of this kind of hybrid design, incorporating a lot of different elements. So I'm going to start off by making her a little Santa hat on the top of this eye right in here. I'm going to just make kind of like a dagger line. And then I'm going to come down and create this hat right inside of here. So it's kind of falling over onto the cheek right here. Now at the bottom, on the top of that Santa hat, what are we going to do? We're going to put some white, because usually his hat is trimmed with fur. So using what last little bit of wolf white I have, I'm literally scraping the sides. Just because I own the store doesn't mean I give first dibs to myself. So sadly, this is what's left. So at the corner of her hat right in here, I'm just going to create the little fur that is at the tip of the hat. And then I'm going to make the rim of the hat right inside of there. Now, if your red is not completely dry, you are going to get this kind of blend right into it. So I'm going to let that whole side dry before I go back over it. And once it's dry, then I can go over the whole thing again. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is using my arty cake. This one is also for the holidays. This one is holly berry. So I'm going to use this one to create a little bit of holly. And I'm going to be using a number 12 brush to create the holly around here. So I'm just going to pick up the greens and the golds, because in this particular arty cake, you just want to pick up those because we're just creating the holly. So right underneath her eye right here, I'm going to create some holly. So I make one swoop and another one, and I flip my brush around so that I made one set of holly, and I'm gonna just create another one around it as well. Now the holly stroke, you want to make sure that you're making almost like C's and you're connecting them. And when you come around, you want to flip your brush and then twist on the tip so that your holly has a beginning and an end. So I know it's a little harder to see in that section. So I started off with a Santa hat and 2 holly right inside of there. The next thing, I really like this red because it really pops. And when I'm loading my brush, just make sure that you notice this. I roll my brush on all sides so that I load it all the way to the tip right there. So then what I'm going to do is have this mask come across her. So I'm going to make like a squiggle line. So I start from there, and then I'm going to finish and come right across her nose. So we're going to make kind of like a candy cane ribbon right inside of there. So I start off with my red, and then I'm going to let that dry for a second, and I'm going to go directly on the other side, and I'm going to create my stocking. So I'm going to turn her a little bit this way, and then I'm going to make a line and make like a boot for the stocking, and I'm going to fill it in with the red. So now you have this, it almost looks like a J if you really look at it. So I'm going to let that dry for a second because I want both of these to be dry so I can go over it with my white. Now while that's drying, I'm going to go back to this side, and I'm going to give my holly a little bit of an outline, and then I'm going to go back over my Santa hat. That way I can work going back and forth and give that time to dry so that they don't bleed into each other. So I'm just going to go in and give this Santa hat a little bit of a definition right inside of there. And then I'm going to go over my holly in the white. And you can go over holly in black too if you want to give it a little bit more of a definition. And I'm going to go right back over the fur of my Santa hat to just make it a little bit crisp and whiter. Okay, so now I have my holly on that side. You can come on in, Jenny. It's no problem. So I have the holly, and now that this side should be dry, I'm going to go back in, and I'm just going to create the candy cane ribbon and connect it just like this onto this side. And then from this side, now that that should be dry, I'm going to create the fur on my stocking. Give this a little bit of an outline, same way, just like I did on one side. And then most of you guys know my style, of course, is to do teardrops and dots. So we're going to add a few more swirls and teardrops around this eye, coming right off of it. So we start at the corner of the eye. So I'm going to start at the corner of the eye, going to swirl up, come through that swirl, and swirl around it, and bring these into the corner of her eye, just like that. So now what I'm going to do is just bring out one of my favorite things in the whole world, the BAM stencils. Woo! And this one happens to be like winter snowflakes, which is totally great, so I don't have to sit here and freehand this entire thing. Using my favorite stencils, and I'm going to pick up on my sponge. I'm going to make sure that it's a little dry versus wetter than normal, and I'm just loading it up with a little bit of white so that it's not going to bleed through when we place the stencil on the face. One snowflake here, and I'm just dabbing it on top of it just like that. I'll add another little one there. And notice how dry it is, so this is going to help me. So now I have my 2 snowflakes there, and if you want to, you can add one right over here to just balance it out. So if there's one there, then we probably should either draw one in or make a smaller one there. So the cool thing is I also have all these dots. Now in this case, I don't necessarily need to use them because I have my trusty style stick. which I'm going to use in a second too. But you can also use these dots just to give it a little bit of an embellishment. And I'll show you what I mean by that, just so that you can understand. So this particular pattern right here goes big to small. This one does too. So what I'm going to do is, just in keeping with this same theme, I'm going to follow it around, use this one right here. So I'll flip it over just so that I have my pattern, and I'm just going to run it right over that section so that I have a perfect line of dots. And I did that using my sponge, which is the good thing. So you don't have to do a whole lot of guesswork. Stick wet, I'm going to rub it over the surface of my paint right in there so that you get it pretty well loaded. And then I'm just going to add a few little dots in here as well. A few little dots right inside of here. And the lighter you tap on it, the smaller the dot's going to be. And add a few little snow flurries around that section. And then a few in here. Alright, so now for the very last thing, I'm just going to give her a little bit of a detail using black. And I'm going to be switching over to a smaller brush. So I switched over to a number 3 versus the number 4 I was using, and I'm picking up a little bit of black because I'm going to give it the faintest amount of black outline. I don't want to go really heavy on it because I want to keep it with that winter wonderland theme. So what I'm doing is I'm just going here and there, gently giving things a very little bit of an outline just so that I can clean them up, especially any edges that I felt were a little bit rough. I'm going right around my Santa hat right in there. And then I'm just defining some of this a little bit better. Just like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing on my ribbon right in here. Because when you outline, turn a little bit this way. When you outline your ribbon, then it's a little bit easier to see where it's flowing. Okay, so now I'm just going to come around that side and give that side swirl. Turn a little bit that way. I'm going to give these swirls a little bit of a black outline too. Same thing with my... Okay, now she can look in the camera, and you're going to smile, and you're going to say, Happy Holidays.
Happy holidays.
All right, so look that way, and then look this way, the other way. Say bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
All right, wave at the camera. Say bye, Dad.
Bye, Dad.
Aww. All right.